So the first anniversary of the 9/11 attack on our consulate in Benghazi is just weeks away. 4 Americans were killed that day, and still no one responsible has been held accountable. And at the State Department, Secretary Kerry has just absolved anyone in charge of any negligence.
The State Department has determined that the 4 officials who were placed on administrative leave following the independent Benghazi Accountability Review Board's report should be reassigned to different positions within the department, and they will be returning to work. The State Department's own review over the last months reaffirmed the findings of the ARB, that there was no breach of duty by these 4 employees, and that coupled with our efforts to strengthen security, the right answer for these 4 was reassignment.
Okay, so you gotta love August. That's when all the news comes out. They've decided that these 4 mid-level employees, so in case you didn't catch that, Hillary Clinton said after Benghazi, I'm going to take these 4 employees, they're mid-level officials, and put them on administrative leave. They've been on administrative leave since then, since about September 30th.
Paid.
But now they're definitely paid, and now they're going to get their reassigned within the department. Because maybe they've determined that they haven't done anything wrong.
Well, I'll tell you what, then what did when Hillary Clinton said, I've got these 2 great Americans, and here they are, Thomas Pickering and Admiral Mullen, who I've met. They did the whole study, and they concluded these 4 really were egregiously out of line, and they recommended that they be reassigned or let go and certainly reprimanded. So they are. So that was the conclusion of the review board, which is cited over and over again to say that the Republicans are ginning up a scandal that doesn't exist. Now, what essentially Kerry is saying is the review board was wrong. He sees nothing. These 2 looked at it and analyzed it. John Kerry, one man, new Secretary of State. So they said that it stopped here. It wasn't the Undersecretary. It wasn't the Secretary of State. The problem was here. And now John Kerry says there was no problem.
There's no
problem.
problem.
So what was the problem? Just 4 people are dead.
I think, Eric, one of the key questions is, who is the highest level official at the State Department that saw the cable from Ambassador Stevens requesting more help? Who is that? That shouldn't be that hard to find out.
No one knows. And part of the problem is, this is the Accountability Review Board, the ARB, as it's been come to be known, talked about. But here's what it says. It says, no employee breached their duty or should be fired. Rather, some should be reassigned. Why, if they didn't do anything wrong, why are they reassigned? Why don't you put them back in the jobs that they were doing before? Does it not sound like they're trying to just, hey, it's been a year now, let's get them back in the system?
It could be that somebody else filled those positions while they were on administrative leave. And I don't know, Bob, you worked at the State Department. It's not the easiest place to figure out bureaucratic-wise.
Although one of these guys was a Deputy Assistant Secretary of State, as was I, and you call us mid-level, I think it's sort of a slight.
That's how they've been described.
But that's right.
That's what that says. I'm reading
it is right. I think we've about mid-level was giving me more credit than I deserve.
Doesn't deputy also imply assistant? So it's like assistant.
Well, these are not. Look, I think what Kerry did was to go back and look at it and make a determination that these people, in fact, did not do enough egregious things to warrant being dismissed from the State Department, but that they should be reassigned. And I think the idea of them going back to their old jobs, can you imagine the uproar from the Republicans if they went back to their old jobs?
Bob, I will say this, do not deserve any formal disciplinary action.
Well,
and it's asked them to come back to work.
Let me tell you what's next, Kimberly.
Please.
Lois Lerner of the IRS, who's been on administrative leave, she'll be back.
Of course. Well, this administration isn't interested in investigating or prosecuting anyone unless it's a White House reporter, James Rosen, something like. I mean, honestly, when you look at the history here, they're going to say they waited for enough time to pass. Okay, Kerry, the Clintons, everybody, they're all playing ball together. That's all kumbaya. So he's going to say, I'm almost done, Bob. He's going to say, yeah, there's no problem here. Well, if there's no problem, put them back in their exact positions. They did absolutely nothing wrong. It's ridiculous.
So he insulted Pickering and he insulted
Mullen. These findings and he insulted the admirable, and it's just unacceptable. And there should be a reckoning and there should be accountability at the election.
Can I just say one thing? You've got a speck on your shoulder.
The other thing is on that Administrative Review Board, they didn't talk to Hillary Clinton, the secretary, until after the findings were already put together.
And that's my point. You're saying Pickering and Mullen, they were so fantastic. I'm not sure they were good.
Yeah.
I'm not sure this.
Well, they weren't good enough.
You're giving them a lot of credit. I don't think they leaned on Hillary to find out about what she knew and when she knew it.
They have distinguished careers. And I'm saying that anybody who has a problem with the Benghazi investigation, they go, what we did the review board. And we had this conclusion.
The review board forgot to interview the most important person.
So now the person that should be saying that review board was great and impeccable, and I love what they did, and Hillary Clinton's innocent, just said, I looked at their review board, Democrat, Secretary of State, and they were wrong. They deserve no They deserve no
First of all,
ramification.
can I ask you guys a question? You've now had over 20 hearings by ISA in the House on Benghazi, and nothing. I mean, nothing has shown itself to be illegal or any. And so, what is it? How much more do you want to go? You want to keep this thing going for another 5 years?
Yeah, I do actually. Until we get the answers.
Well, you got the. I mean, if ISA can't get the answers, then he's stupid.
I'll keep it going
Bob,
forever,
somebody
Bob.
knows. I mean, here's the thing.
You know.
Somebody knows.
Yeah,
Well, then why can't
they're
after
sitting on
20
it.
congressional hearings?
Well, you tell me.
'Cause they're not
You know what?
cooperating.
This
We're
is
the
not
guys
my
that did it.
responsibility. You tell me why the State Department is stalling on all of this information. Why is that?
Well, they've all been interviewed. They've been called up there.
2016.
It either means
Right.
to me that
What
there's
difference
nothing
does it
there, or
make?
you've got an
At this-
incompetent
at this
chairman in
point.
ISA, which I think it is.
It's Hillary's
Does anyone
2016
has-
campaign.
here's
Deal with
very-
it. That's what's going on here.
Very important question. You know who ran the show during the Benghazi attacks? General Ham.
Yeah, where's he been?
Where's he been? Hey, General.
Seriously.
We'd
Where
like
are
to
you?
hear
I
from
thought of that yesterday.
By the way,
He
the answer to your question
hold
about
on, hold on. He retired very quickly after the Benghazi
Why do you
attacks.
think?
Very quickly, and no one's heard
Cover
from him
up.
since. You want to know something? We have a lot of investigative journalists here and around. Let's knock on the general's door.
He's
Find out what he
hiding
knows.
out in Harlem.
We're the guys that killed our guys.
No,
Where
yeah,
are
that's
they?
the other thing. When I say no one was held accountable, it actually meant what I wanted it to say was that no one has been arrested. They did that indictment for the international terrorists that they haven't been able to find. But so you're coming up on the anniversary, and not a single person's responsible, including, forget the State Department. Maybe they didn't do anything. Let's just say that they didn't do anything wrong, that it was circumstances. But we haven't even been able to do anything to get the people who actually perpetrated the terrorist attack.
That's true. But you know, the
That's
head of
my point.
security, I can't remember his name, but he resigned shortly after this happened. His name was Burrow or something like that. Remember, he was the State Department head of security. He got out.
That's right. And then he testified later.
Right.
Okay.
The only guy to pay the price, Hicks. He got
Yeah.
demoted, and he was the whistleblower.
Because he's the whistleblower. That's the deal.
All right. We had more to talk about Egypt, but we're going to